These are parents of children who lost their lives in school shooting. These are parents that have come up with a solution, a nonpartisan solution. Got it recommended by the Federal Commission on School Safety. They told me that the day after Parkland had a parent from Sandy Hook had a piece of legislation that they'd been trying to get passed but couldn't. They would help. They would have been 100% supportive of that piece of legislation coming to the floor and passing by unanimous consent, irrespective of the timing. They asked me to come to the floor today to ask my colleagues to lay aside partisanship, to do something for these families, provide them some measure of comfort by passing a completely nonpartisan bill that could make a difference, that could save a life. There's no reason not to pass this bill today in this chamber at this hour. So, Madam President, as if in legislative session, I ask in unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of calendar number 102 S111. I further ask that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Reserving the right to object.
Majority Leader.
Now, Madam President, the American people have had to endure two of the worst mass shootings in recent history in just the span of 10 days. One of them happened to be in my home state of New York, in the dear city of Buffalo. The other happened yesterday in Texas, the worst school shooting since Sandy Hook, and we can't get out of our minds, I can't, the picture of 10 and 11 and 9-year-olds being shot, killed, just ready to burst into the adolescent and adult phases of their lives. What the American people want is real solutions to our nation's gun violence epidemic. We've had too many moments of silence, too many thoughts and prayers. Americans are sick of it. Many in this chamber are sick of it. Here's the sad truth about what happened yesterday and why I plan to object to my colleagues' UC. Hardening schools would have done nothing to prevent this shooting. In fact, there were guards and police officers already at the school yesterday when the shooter showed up. One was a school police officer. Two were from the Uvalde Police Department. The shooter got past all of them with 2 assault weapons that he purchased. They couldn't stop him. The bill would not have protected those children. More guns won't protect our children. That is the wrong answer. There are too many guns and too many options for the wrong people to get guns. So I plan to object to passing this measure today through consent. But I would tell my colleague from Wisconsin, tomorrow we can begin voting on a bill that will let us take action on guns. And we could consider amendments like this then, along with others. Tomorrow, the Senate is scheduled to take the first step in responding to the shooting that happened in my home state of New York 2 weeks ago, and so many other mass shootings over the years that have been motivated by race. The Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act, which I set in motion earlier this week, is a necessary and timely step to honor the memories of the dead in Buffalo and to make sure mass shootings motivated by race don't happen again. I urge all my Republican colleagues to vote to get on the bill. All we're asking is a vote yes on the motion to proceed. I urge my colleague from Wisconsin to vote yes on that bill. If Senator Johnson helps us get on the domestic terrorism bill, we could consider amendments related to guns, his and others that have a different point of view. And if Republicans can vote with us to get on that bill, we can have a debate on considering common sense, strong gun safety amendments, hopefully with bipartisan support. Senator from Wisconsin says his bill is bipartisan. It's 5 Republican sponsors. And the bottom line is, if you want to have bipartisan debates, you don't just say my bill must pass by unanimous consent and no other bill can pass. I am providing a path that we can have a debate on these amendments. Let me be clear. We are going to vote on gun legislation, and the Republicans could let us start doing that as soon as tomorrow if they simply voted yes on the motion to proceed, and I give them a pledge that we will then start debating gun amendments. Senator Johnson's and many others that have a different point of view. I repeat, though, we are going to vote on gun legislation. The American people are tired of moments of silence, tired of the kind words offering thoughts and prayers. We can use the domestic terrorism bill tomorrow to begin, I repeat, to begin considering gun safety amendments. And we can consider the proposal he brings to the floor today. So we won't just have this amendment, we'll have a lot of amendments to debate. And that seems perfectly fair and, in fact, bipartisan. Alone, the Johnson bill is not in any way, shape, or form a sufficient solution. And so I object.
Madam President.
Pardon me? Objection is heard.
Madam President.
Senator from Wisconsin.
As Chairman of Homeland Security, I passed over 300 pieces of legislation out of committee. Over 130 of those became law. Very few of those, almost none, were partisan in any way, shape, or form. The approach I use to have that kind of legislative success is rather than focus on issues that divide us, I concentrate on areas of agreement. Today, I brought to the Senate floor a nonpartisan bill, a bill crafted by the parents who lost their sons in one of these horrific tragedies. It passed our committee twice, unanimously. Those parents asked me to come today to please pass this bill, take some action, provide some comfort to all the parents that are grieving, to a nation that is grieving. So I came to the floor today, and I will not engage in partisanship, other than to say it is just sad. It is just sad that this body can't pass this bill when about a month ago they passed an identical bill that applied to churches. This one applies to schools. And yet it's inappropriate, according to the majority leader, to pass this nonpartisan bill by unanimous consent.